Welcome to week 2 of Launch Your Business in 60 Days. I'm Haley and I'm here to guide you through how to build a solid foundation for your beauty or freelancing business to launch on January 1st. This week we are talking about building a brand that books, aka all the things you need to know about branding, building a brand, and creating a magnetic brand to target your ideal clientele. If you want a deeper dive into any of these topics as well as branding and marketing, my course, The Business Bitch, is going to be linked down below. Let's just start off with how we are feeling after last week. We should have a nice setup of our business. We should be ready to go. We should be legal. We should have bank accounts. We should have all of the EIN numbers, all the licensing, all the things. So our business is laid out. We have our full business name and we are ready to go legally, not trademarked, not anything. We're good to go. So what we're going to cover today is going to be defining your brand's messaging and mission, creating your own brand, your personality, your tone, and your vibe. And we're going to figure out who our ideal client is and how we can better relate our branding to our ideal client. Then we're going to talk about avoiding the generic beauty business trap. First, let's start about what branding is and why branding actually makes a difference, especially in the beauty industry. Let's think about Poppy. Everybody has seen this can in the grocery store. Everybody has seen this can on the internet. They are successful because of how they chose to brand themselves. These bright, bold colored cans not only capture attention amongst the silver and red cans in all the aisles of the grocery store, but the way that they've chosen to go about their social media and their marketing is what really sets them apart without people even trying their product. This is brand recognition. You know it's Poppy before you even look twice. Even if you've never tried the product, you know exactly what it is and what they do. And that's because they have a successful brand and marketing strategy. They have achieved this by using the bright colors and fonts in every single aspect of their business. And they are positioning themselves as the authority in the healthy beverage category. The same exact thing is going to apply to us as beauty professionals. Your brand is just as important as your artistry. Your branding is going to communicate a few things to your ideal client: how professional you are, what your vibe is, and whether or not they can trust you. I know that might sound dramatic, but hear me out. I'm going to show you these two visuals side by side. Number 1 and number 2. These are the same company with the same mission and the same idea, but they are branded very differently. When they were tested, this branding did not do quite as well as this branding. And do you know why? This one is messy, overstimulating, and doesn't really convey the message of the brand. Versus this one is clean, minimal, professional, and to the point, but still gives the artsy vibe of what the brand actually does. The clean and consistent one is going to win every single time because it conveys professionalism and confidence without even saying a word. Your brand needs to do the same. Consistency and clarity throughout every aspect that your client is going to see needs to be consistent, but it also needs to represent exactly who you are and what you do as a business. So first of all, let's talk about how we're going to create a consistent brand package and what we need in order to create that. So the first thing I would tell you to do is go log into Canva. You can do a Canva Pro. I recommend doing the Pro. It's like $12 a month, and they have such a wide variety of tools. This is something that if you are not hiring a full-time graphic designer, learning how to use Canva, and it is a very user-friendly tool, is so imperative for you because you're going to be able to create amazing graphics for your business without having to pay someone. So now that you have Canva all set up, okay, we are going to create a brand package. But before we create our brand package, I want you to go into Pinterest and I want you to create a brand board. I did this when I first started my business because I was trying to figure out exactly what the branding and vibes that I was going to go with were like. I pinned images and I'm going to show you what my original Pinterest board for my brand looked like. I pinned images, I pinned different types of posts, just colors, vibes, just different things that inspired me and that I liked and I thought visually would represent my brand very well. So I want you to, first things first, before you dive into creating your brand package, is to kind of create a brand inspired board. So when you're like, how do I feel? Do I need some inspiration? You can always come back to that board and related posts on that board for you to kind of get re-inspired and see how you feel about adding things into your brand or taking things away. So now that we have kind of the vibes of what we're thinking for our brand, I want us to now think about the goal of what our business is going to do for our clients. I want you to come up with a tagline. This is a very important part of branding and consistency. My personal tagline for my bridal brand is Glam Brides, Good Vibes. I focus on the glam of the brides and the experience that I give them, which is the good vibes. It fits my kind of groovy branding that I have in my makeup business. So that's something that I feel like conveys exactly what I do to my bride. But your goal is to figure out what not only the vibe of your branding is going to be, but the experience that you want to give to your clients and how you're going to market that to them. I want you to take time to really understand what the mission, what your business is going to be. Your goal is to basically figure out what you want your business to accomplish, how you want your clients to feel, and how you want your artistry to be represented. All of that gets put in a tiny little tagline. This is something I recommend you put in your Instagram, on your website. Having a strong brand mission is going to help you in the long run, and also is going to help you figure out more towards the vibes and how you're going with the representation of your branding. After you've done that, I want you to go over to Canva again, and we're going to talk about colors and visuals. Inside of Canva, you have a brand package area where you can upload all of the things so that they're saved. So when you go to make posts or you go to make different things on Canva, everything is already in there for you, so you're not having to search up colors and fonts and all of that. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to look at your Pinterest board, and I want you to pick out 4 colors. 2 neutral or main colors. Typically, these are going to be the ones that are going to be on the background in most of the text, anything like that. And then 2 accent colors. You can do more than that. I think I have 5, but I interchange my accent colors out for one another depending on the vibe of the post or the website or whatever it is that I'm doing. Then next, you're going to pick 3 fonts. You want a heading font, a subheading font, and a body font. Fonts are very important. You need to keep your fonts consistent because fonts can be something that really messes up a brand and doesn't feel consistent across the board with your posts and all of the things that are on your site and everything like that. So try to have at least similar fonts on everything so that you can make sure that you are establishing consistency amongst every single platform. I would say go with the most legible fonts. Cursive and things like that can tend to get lost for some people, so I tend to personally stay away from cursive. Bold, bright, bolder fonts tend to be better because we want to make sure that they are legible for everyone and anyone. Then we're going to create our logo. And I know that this sounds crazy. You don't have to overthink it. If you want to hire someone to do it, do it. I found somebody on Fiverr that did a really, really great job for like $75. So if you're not necessarily wanting to like really go in and design everything yourself, if you're just not feeling like you're good at that, there are so many options that are not super expensive, or you can just hire a graphic designer to do an entire brand package for you. That's also an option. There are amazing graphic designers out there everywhere that specialize in this. So if you're not like, I could do this myself, but we are trying to do this as quickly and as cost effectively as possible. So Canva has amazing templates. There are so many options to just create a logo. I would say your logo is important, but it doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be fancy. We are not selling products or anything like that. So we want to just have something that looks pretty, that aligns with our brand. Our logo is not going to be the most important part of our branding. I would say your colors, your fonts, and your brand package is going to be super, super important, but people aren't seeing your logo all day, every day. They're just going to see it on any paperwork, contracts, things that you send them. So you want it to be brand aligned, but it doesn't need to be super fancy. So pick something that you like and then go from there. So pick something you like or get someone to make it for you, but get that logo designed and then stick with one. We can always rebrand down the road. So you aren't married to this entire concept, but I just want you to get something that we can establish our foundation with. Okay, so now we have our mini brand package. We have our logo, we have our colors, we have our fonts, we have that all uploaded into Canva, ready to go to start creating a magnetic brand. Let's talk about your brand voice. Your brand voice is how you sound in your messaging, your emails, your marketing, and your overall communication with your clients. It should feel authentic to you or your business's brand identity. For me, I am my business, and a lot of us freelancers are our business, so we want to create a brand voice that is the most aligned with how we personally communicate. I call it the hey girl tone. It's friendly, it's conversational, it is casual, but it still is a level of professional and is going to reflect exactly how I speak to my clients. But if you're building a more luxurious brand, right? So if you're trying to build a team brand or a very, very sophisticated brand, you want your brand voice to align with that. Your brand voice might be a little bit more elevated and polished. So for example, instead of in an email saying, hey Alex, let's get you updated on your contract, I might say, hey Alex, I'm so pumped to get you moving on the next steps. Here's your updated contract. There's not a huge difference between these two things, but it's the tone in which it is said and read that your client is going to understand what your brand is just by the way you communicate. Brides and clients want to feel your vibes. The way you write your captions, emails, and everything on your site, it's all going to play a role of how they perceive your professionalism and your energy. This is going to tie directly into marketing psychology. People make decisions in seconds purely based on perception. So if they read your emails and you sound like a stuffy, your bride is not going to want to book you if you want to convey that you are a fun girl energy. They are not going to book you because maybe your tone feels off and your branding really isn't aligning with the style and vibe that they're going for their wedding. Tying into this, we need to figure out exactly who our ideal client really is. So to come back, we're going to come back to how the marketing and brand psychology is going to affect us. But first we need to figure out who we are branding and marketing towards. And this is what we consider our ideal client, or the client that we want to book the most of. I am not going to go super deep into this. I actually have a full free class about how to find and figure out who your ideal client is. I'm going to link that down below. So after you're done with this video, go take that. There is actually a worksheet as well that you're going to be able to fill out that you can reference back to as you're building your brand. Basically, what you're going to ask yourself is, who is your bride? How old are they? Where are they getting married? What is their budget? What is their vibes? These are all questions that you're going to ask yourself to create your ideal bride profile. When you create your brand and any marketing material, you're going to ask yourself, is this conveying the message that I want to send to my ideal bride? Is this message going to click and identify with my ideal bride so that she's going to say, oh, that's it. That's my artist. That is why these steps are all super important. If you don't know who you're marketing to no one. You cannot market to everyone. You have to find your niche and you have to market specifically to them, or you are never going to get booked. If your dream bride is booking high-end weddings at luxury hotels in Southern California, she is likely going to go for a clean, timeless glam look with chic, polished hairstyles. She's going to look for an artist that's going to represent the vibes of her wedding. So here are two branding examples. Now, the bride that I just described to you, the one that is looking for a more luxurious Southern California vibe, which one of these is just based on branding? So if they both do the exact same work, they both offer the type of work and hair and makeup styles that she wants. But when she logs on to each of these websites, which one of these is she going to go with purely based on branding? Probably this one, this clean, elegant, and luxurious looking brand. Now, these are both really great examples of branding. These both are super strong examples of branding, and they both are good in their own way. This is just going to attract a different type of bride versus this one is going to attract our ideal bride. Your branding should reflect your dream client's world. Your branding should not necessarily reflect you and your identity. It should reflect you and who you want to work with, because that is exactly what branding does. It captures who you're wanting to work with. And if you want to work with people like you, then I would say go for it, queen. Bust your personality and your branding. But if you're wanting to attract more luxurious, clean style brides, then you're not going to necessarily want to create a big, bold brand. You're going to want to create something understated and clean. So now that we kind of have a basic understanding of why we need to brand to our ideal bride, we're going to talk about the generic beauty branding trap, the infamous white and blush and gold color palette. Now, no shade, it's gorgeous, I think it's pretty, but it is so overdone. When everyone's brand looks the same, you are just another artist in the crowd. So think about it like this. When you walk down the chip aisle of your grocery store, you see all of the name brand products with bold and bright branding with recognizable logos, and then you have the grocery store's generic brand. The generic brand gets the job done, is typically cheaper, and doesn't have any sort of crazy branding and look. It's normally in a white or whatever the grocery store's brand is on the packaging, so it's not drawing attention. People are going to purchase that because it is a comparable product for a lower price. But most people know certain name brands or original products are going to taste better. They are going to be a little bit more expensive than the generic brand, and they have a more recognizable brand. So people are going to pick Oreos over chocolate sandwich cookies for the most part, unless they are just buying based on price, which we don't necessarily want our clients to pick us based on our price. We want them to base their opinions on how good we are and how they see the value in what we do. And a lot of the times you see the value in the way things are branded, in the packaging of Oreos versus the brand of chocolate sandwich cookies. You see the amount of effort that's put in to something like this versus something like this. Your brain is going to automatically assume that these are going to be better. It's the same thing with like what they call greenwashing or the healthy stuff. The packaging on this bag of chips is going to convey a healthier chip versus something like this, because we know that this is not necessarily a healthy chip, but they have the exact same ingredients, but it's how the branding is represented that people are going to assume this one is going to be better for the money versus this one, or this one is healthier than this one, when it really isn't. You cannot blend in. You have to make sure that amongst yourself on the chip aisle, you are standing out to your client. They understand and they see the value of your services accompanied with the brand. You want to convey your value as an artist through your branding. So when you are building a Pinterest board and a brand vibe, I really want you to dig deep in yourself. And I want you to make sure that you are not just creating a generic brand to get it over with, that you are really creating a brand and a vibe that you truly believe in and that aligns with your brand's values, your identity, and exactly what you're trying to bring to your client. We are creating an experience. We are not just creating a business. We want to make sure that our services and every single aspect of our business is conveying exactly what it is that we want to do. Branding is one of the most important steps in building a solid foundation for your business. Don't skip it, don't rush it, don't cheap out on it. Take your time, have fun, build a brand that you believe in, and make sure that your brand voice is going to back up your branding. This is what's going to make brides remember you. So make sure that through every single step, you circle back to, what is my ideal bride looking for? My course, The Business Bitch, is going to go super, super deep into branding for you. You're going to be able to fill out worksheets and Canva templates and all kinds of things in order for you to better understand and go really, really deep inside what your brand wants to be. The link is below, as well as the free class to finding your ideal clientele. And that is it for week 2. So now that we are done with week 2, you're going to go along your checklist. You're going to make sure that you check off everything on the box before week 3. This is going to be a pretty work-heavy week, so make sure that you are taking the time to fully understand your brand. Do one step every single day, and you'll be able to be done before next Wednesday when I see you next for our week 3, where we're going to talk about pricing, packaging, and a booking flow. The stuff that's going to turn your brand into making real money. I will see you next week.